We'll be starting in just a couple seconds here. Let everybody filter in. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in, please. What's up, Wes? What's up, Karen? Hey, Roxanne. Hey, Pam. What's up, Rondo? What's up, Albert? What up, man? Hey, Leah. Hey, Karen. Hi, Andy. What's up, JD? Sammy? Cole? What's up, Salty? Yaakov. Man. All right, guys, let's rock and roll. What do you say? It is Sunday, September 28th, 2025. I appreciate you joining me. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics, the political podcast made to sift through the bullshit, the propaganda, the lies of the mainstream media, the GOP, Donald Trump, and all the rest of those freaks out there trying to take down our government, well trying to take down our country through the use of the government. We've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, RIP Portland once again. Let me see if I can bring in the chat here for you guys. First of all, thank you, mods. I appreciate you guys for taking the time out of your day, volunteering and making sure that chat is a safe place. What up, Dame Dog? What's happening, brother? What up, Susie? What up, Yakov? What up, JT? Thank you, brother. Yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button. What up, Sammy? What's up, Roxanne? What up, T? Appreciate you guys. Hey, Bobby, how are you? Karen, Jolie, Kinky, what's up, Etch? What's going on, Tiff? How are you? Thank you for your services. Thank you, Jen, for your services. Thank you, everybody, for your services. I appreciate it very much. All right, let's see what else. Let's see if I can bring this right in because we got a few kind of breaking news stories as they go, this being one of them here. Make this a full screen. So in Michigan, a Mormon church, there was a shooting, multiple people shot. Apparently the shooter is down, but let's see if we can just kind of check in and see if we can get any further updates, any further details. But before we do that, before we check in there, let's just see if we can go down the line of the list of what else we'll be talking about today. There was also a shooting in North Carolina as well that we'll be discussing. We'll be discussing the ridiculous and blatant propaganda tactics used by the right wing, this time Benny Johnson and his fools. We'll be diving deep into how they use the Penn State whiteout in order to make it look like, his Charlie Kirk and their movement had much more, popularity than it actually had. Obviously, we'll be taking a look at all the violence and the nonsense taking place under ICE's thumb, under ICE's watch over the last few days. There's a ton of clips, a ton to be said about that. We'll also be diving into the Russian oil crisis. Over the last month or two, Ukraine has done an absolutely fantastic job of striking Russian oil refineries, and now that has come to a head. We are now seeing the products of that success. Over 360 gas stations have been shut down, not just in Crimea, but all around Russia. So we'll be taking a look at a few different articles and videos pertaining to that. Also, about 600 drones were sent into Ukraine last night. Kiev was struck pretty hard, so we'll be taking a look at that as well. This is something that, obviously does not bode well for the Russian military, obviously does not say that they're heading in the right direction. So they've gone past North Korean soldiers and are now using Kenyans to fight in Ukraine for themselves. The police have broke up a trafficking ring of Kenyans to fight for Russia in Ukraine. We'll also be discussing the latest horrors in Gaza. And then we got a few clips from a few morons to get to, one of them being Don Jr. Let's see here. I know Tim Pool is once again trying to gin up some theories. I know everybody's talking about this on the right about the 275 plainclothes officers. Yes, clearly, this was known well in advance, known ahead of time. A lot of people in these right-wing groups actually gave authorities advance on what was going to happen. So yes, authorities had undercover agents, plainclothes agents involved in and around the area at the time. But his spin, they wouldn't put on. We also have, we also have an I Had It clip, a video from the I Had It ladies, and I think they're talking about some new Epstein material or at least the distractions from the Epstein material. So forget time, we'll be diving into all of that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me as long as you have. Let's get this self-promotional bullshit out of the way first. Let me see if I can put this. Fucking deep state. I'm so fucking sick of this bullshit. I don't know what the fuck happens. I don't know. Somebody keeps cutting me off the internet. The fucking internet goes down. I'm fucking pissed. Fucking annoying is what it is. All right, let's see if we can hop into this. Sorry. My apologies. Now all of these got to fucking what? Reset now? Bastards. All right, let's see if we can bring this into you guys. My apologies, but he can't fucking even begin to explain how frustrating it is if I have to fucking open up every single one of these tabs that I had saved for fucking you. All right, let's see if we can check in with just a little bit of an update from him.
There was no additional victims, so it was a great job by our staff. Okay.
So it was a law enforcement officer that neutralized the suspect?
Yes, there was 2 law enforcement officers involved. I will be back here at 5 p.m. to give you.
All right, let's see if I'll rewind just a little bit, see if we can get any further details from this. So multiple people shot at Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Police say the shooter is down and there is currently no active threat. Sources tell Fox Detroit that suspect may have set the church on fire afterwards. Let's see if this gives us anything.
Grand Blanc, Michigan, where there has been a shooting at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in that community. We've learned that multiple people have been shot. We also know that the church is currently on fire, and this is a live look from that scene. In fact, you can see the thick smoke there in the distance. Very heavy first response in this area. Sources telling Fox 2 Detroit that the suspect may have set the church on fire. We also know that authorities are going to be giving an update in approximately 10-15 minutes, and we're going to bring that to you right here on Live Now from Fox. But we're also hearing
see
more
what it says
from
here.
a number
Cash
of
Patel,
other
Jesus Christ. So he says we are tracking reports of the horrific shooting and fire at the LDS Church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. FBI agents are on the scene to assist local authorities. Violence in a place of worship is cowardly and criminal act. Our prayers are with the victims and their families during this terrible tragedy, says the completely inept and incompetent FBI Director Cash Patel.
officials and lawmakers. I wanted to share this with you from Governor Whitmer on.
She says, my heart is breaking for the Grand Blanc community. Violence anywhere, especially in a place of worship, is unacceptable. I am grateful to the first responders who took action quickly. We will continue to monitor the situation and hold the Church of Jesus of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc close. In Grand Blanc close.
The shooting, stating, my heart is breaking for the Grand Blanc. Great to reach that, taking to social media, saying, I am receiving.
Yeah, Bondi tuning in. I am receiving briefings about what appears to be a horrific shooting at the fire. Agents are en route, saying basically the same thing that Cash Patel said.
This is very.
Yeah. See if they give any more any more information as to what they know.
And we were seeing some ATF agents.
No, it doesn't look like they have any more information. But that's obviously, since we're in America, since we're in the United States of America, that's clearly not the only act of violence that we need to talk about. Clearly not the only shooting that we need to talk about, because there was at least 3 killed and 8 injured in North Carolina in a different shooting. Let's see if this can give us a little more updates as on this one too. Mel did some great kind of investigating on this. So whatever information is not brought up on here, I think I have completely covered in the background. So let's see what this gives.
3 people killed, at least 8 more wounded after a gunman on a boat opened fire into a crowd at a riverside bar in North Carolina. An evening of music and drinks turned into a night of terror.
The subject on the boat shooting into the building from the boat.
Southport officials saying the gunman on a boat began shooting at patrons of the American Fish Company, a popular waterfront pub about 30 miles south of Wilmington. Officials saying the boat then escaped up the intercoastal waterway. According to the city, a U.S. Coast Guard crew later spotted a man matching the shooter's description at a public boat ramp. He was detained and is now in custody with Oak Island police. Police are calling him a person of interest. No motive has been released.
So apparently, let me see if I can. The suspect is Nigel Max Edge, but his name used to be Sean de Beauvoir, if I'm saying that correctly. A wounded warrior who was shot 3 times in Iraq, has a bullet still in his skull, had part of his skull removed and replaced with a plastic piece. He went to the Country Music Awards as a guest of Kelly Pickler and wrote a book, changed his name in an anagram of Mangled ex-GI, and has sued multiple people based on severe mental issues and brain injuries. He even sued Kelly Pickler as a part, saying she was part of killing another soldier in Iraq. Let's see here. Nigel Edge was taken into custody Saturday night after the deadly attack at the American Fish Company restaurant in Southport Yacht Basin. There's a lot here to go into his background, his service. But yeah, that's just a little bit of further information on that. There's some photos here. There was also a shooting at an Indian casino at Eagle Pass, Texas. 2 dead, 8 injured. Oh, that's in the North Carolina one. All right, let's see if we can move on, because I just wanted to touch base on a little bit of the... Oh, thank you so much, Peter. I appreciate that. Hold on. Where are you? There you are, buddy. I understand, Boston Brian. I'm in Portland. Not one uprising or riot. We do not need troops here. There has been 3 mass shootings in 24 hours elsewhere. You're absolutely right, Peter, as we're pointing out here. But yet Donald Trump, Tom Homan, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi continue to justify these troops, the National Guard, ICE, and other law enforcement agencies being sent into areas that, again, did not request it, do not want it. And, going by the statistics that we've seen, do not require such activity even remotely. So thank you very much, Peter, for your support. It's 100% true. I thank you so much for speaking out from somebody in Portland. So we have somebody on the ground reporting what is actually going on. So I appreciate that very much, Peter. Thank you. Let me see if I can get on to, again, I wanted to talk about this kind of changing pace a little bit, and this is just an example. Let me see if I can. This is just a little example, right, of the propaganda usage by the right wing, by people like Benny Johnson, by people like Tim Pool, by people like Laura Loomer, the Candace Owens, and the list continues here. So basically, what they did, I don't know if, let me see if I can pull this up, because it might be a better explanation. Let's see, Penn State whiteout. See if I can kind of, here it is right here. So I'll just kind of give you this update right here. So everybody knows the whiteout is a tradition at Penn State during select Nittany Lions home football games where the home team spectators come dressed in all white. It has been described as the best atmosphere in college football. It also is among the most expensive regular season games of college football, with ticket prices ranging up at $250. All whiteout games are showcased with advanced fireworks display lining the east and west ends of Beaver Stadium. So this is something that has been going on, will continue to go on before Charlie Kirk and long after Charlie Kirk's name is forgotten, right? So this is just a little bit of the propaganda usage and how they try to do it. So as we all know, when Charlie Kirk was shot, he was wearing a white shirt that said, I don't know, something about freedom. This is freedom. I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but they used this. Benny Johnson and Posobiec and whoever else was involved in this kind of used this to their benefit. They saw and they knew that if they handed out a bunch of T-shirts, and then they went to this Penn State game again. The same people that say universities and colleges and HBCUs are the place of the devil, places where nothing but debauchery and indoctrination happens. People get people become extremists. If you go to college, if you go to universities, you either become trans, you're either going to become gay, or you're going to become a left-wing extremist. That's what the right thinks. But they do see the power of propaganda. So now all of a sudden what they're doing is they're saying, okay, maybe we can also use these universities that we condemn, that we continuously demean and rail against. Maybe we can use that to our benefit. So upcoming is going to be the whiteout at Penn State. So if we hand out 20, 25, 30, 100 white T-shirts to people, then we can use the site of the entire stadium being white and then show that as everybody being behind Charlie Kirk, right? So this is just a quick video of them handing out the shirts. I think they said they handed out something like 5,000 shirts, right? Whatever. What's the capacity at Beaver Stadium? Let's see here. I'm going to say it's probably 50,000, 60,000. Beaver Stadium capacity. Let's see here, 2025. Beaver Stadium capacity has, I was way off, so double what I said. Beaver Stadium capacity for 2025 is 106,304 people, all right? So 106,000 total people. They handed out 5,000, right? They handed out 5,000 shirts. Even if every single one of those was worn by a student, you'd never be able to, you'd hardly ever be able to fucking spot that in that crowd, if ever, right? But don't worry, they had plans ready. So this is just them handing out their T-shirts, right, at the game. Right. All right. So they're handing out, everybody's got that. They're handing out the shirts. Only 5,000 of the shirts. I think he actually says it here. Benny Johnson, this is how we win. This is how we win. Here we go. For Charlie. This is kind of like the running theme that they want you to believe. Here you go with a couple people taking pictures. Right. So let's just say we'll give them the 5,000. So there's still 101,000 plus people in that stadium not wearing one of these T-shirts. If, again, we're going to go by. And here's what he has. Here's right here. 5,000 Charlie shirts gone in 1 hour. So let's take a look at what Benny Johnson's propaganda starts here. Check this out.
Yo, guys, we are here at the Turning Point USA tent with Mirko, who's been organizing this incredible event. He has an announcement for us.
I just gave away the last shirt. That's 5,000 gone. There's going to be 5,000 people in Beaver Stadium wearing these freedom shirts for Charlie.
That's amazing.
All right, so 5,000 gone. They got no more. Got rid of all of them. We'll even take his word. We'll even take him for his word, right? 5,000 out of 106,000 plus. Okay, so again, not very good odds, not very good numbers there. And again, here we go, trying to use this. Now, let's just see how many people in the line do you see are actually wearing this, because this is another bit of propaganda usage by them, right? So just because everybody's wearing white, let's see if we can count the freedom shirts. Nope, still haven't seen one. Still haven't seen one. Nope, no freedom shirts. Nope, still not seeing one. Nope, anybody? Can anybody pick one out of the crowd here? I'm still looking for a single shirt that they've handed out to be worn by any single one of these people. So nope, nothing. Nobody even came on their own trying to represent or celebrate in Charlie. Nope, nothing, no freedom. I didn't see anything there, so no freedoms there. Okay, let's continue it. Let's move on. The line and turning point, here he goes, more propaganda. And this is where I really want you. Mission accomplished by Benny Johnson. This is mission accomplished by Benny Johnson. I want you to take a look at this. Here's the student section that they're filming. And let's take a look at how many they got. How many did they got? Okay, so I see two. I see two plants right there. I see one plant in the red, one plant in the white. Anybody else that you see, and I'll go by nice and slow. We'll go back nice and slow. Anybody else as they're panning in to the crowd? Do you see any other freedom? Anybody else wearing a freedom shirt? Any single fucking person. If you can see one, point them out, because I'd love to fucking see them. Anybody? Anybody else? Let's see if we can. Nope, no freedoms. So they specifically knew where those two people were in the crowd, and they just so happened to pan into the only two people visible with that fucking shirt on. Right now, it gets worse. It gets worse because then they try to show the entirety of the crowd. Let's see. I don't know if that's the same one, but there's a bunch of these idiots like this. So I don't know if this is the same exact one, but you can see what I'm talking about. A lot of these shots kind of showing the entirety of the crowd, trying to be like, oh my God, the entire fucking crowd was in Charlie's shirt. It was amazing. Let's see here. Look at them all. Look at all these people posted for Charlie. Yeah, there you go. This is the main propaganda point here. So he's wearing a white shirt. You can see people in the back are wearing white shirts. So one can only assume that everybody in that Penn State stadium is now wearing a Freedom for Charlie Kirk shirt, right? No, right. But this is just the power of their propaganda. This is, again, the genius that they have. And again, as stupid and as fucking corrupt and as ignorant and as hateful and as much as I despise these people, you got to give them fucking credit where credit is due. Because they have this kind of shit, this propaganda usage, this, use of social media and going viral. Like, they have this shit down pat in a way that, again, Democrats are still trying to figure out, I believe. because they hate universities. They hate college campuses. They despise the fucking culture. They despise the exposure to different nationalities, different beliefs, different people in society. They hate that. Yet they know that they can use this for their political benefit, for their propagandistic benefit. And this is just one example, right? This is just, again, I think the latest and most easily picked out example of how they try to use different fucking atmospheres, different situations, different fucking clans on social media to get this shit out here to try to push a narrative, right? So now they'd have you believe that every college in the world, every college in at least the United States is now in 100% full support of not only Charlie Kirk, but his mission and everything he said in the past, which is, again, the point, the fucking propaganda that they're trying to get through in this, okay? Because in no way, shape, or form was the majority or any way or even remotely close to that represented by people celebrating, wearing Charlie's shirt. But you'd never know that if you were to listen to Benny Johnson or, again, go down the rabbit hole on any one of these right-wing fucking accounts on Twitter, right? Because they want you to believe so desperately that they had the Penn State Stadium locked up with fucking people wearing freedom shirts for Charlie Kirk when, I don't know. Seems like most of them actually came with the group themselves that were selling the shirts, if you really want to know. And again, it's pretty shitty that you can only find 2 people in the crowd, again, representing those shirts. Oh, yep, he was at Fox News. This is another thing. So one cannot talk about right-wing propaganda without talking about Fox News. So clearly Fox News had to get involved with a little bit of the coverage here. Check this out.
Stirring voters with the...
Now you got Scott Pressler in there. I'm surprised they didn't fucking bring in Braylon Hollyhand, which is, again, the next, I guess, Charlie Kirk they're trying to push on the right. This fucking has been no name, fucking already fucking a washed up hack who looks like he's about 12 years old, but is now the man of the people, somehow flying around in private jets talking about how people should probably make less money and we should be supporting corporations and probably less regulation to keep people healthy. But again, that's just the propaganda. They see this kid probably has a little fucking leverage. They probably can. They put him on Fox News. So anybody that's on Fox News obviously has some reach, and that can be used by the right wing. Scott Pressler has really done a fucking trying to fill the void behind Charlie Kirk. He's been pushing this. Lock people up and get people fired and fucking shame people because their reaction wasn't strong enough to the death of Charlie Kirk, trying to, again, ruin people's lives because they're espousing either stuff they don't agree with or they didn't espouse it to the point in which Scott Pressler found it acceptable.
Incredible voter registration teams here for Turning Point USA and early vote action. Scott Pressler with us. They're already signing up new young voters in Charlie's honor. Charlie's spirit lives alive here.
Lives alive. It does live alive. He doesn't, but apparently Benny Johnson, due to the Russian backing of the tenant money, is somehow maintaining Charlie Kirk's livelihood. Lively is living. It's not living, but he's trying to keep it alive, I guess.
The kinetic energy of this moment.
Hey, you know what? You might want to choose your words a little bit more carefully, right? You're trying to talk about Charlie, kinetic energy. Maybe you just want to rephrase that a little bit. You might want to choose, again, your words a little bit more carefully when you're talking about your buddy there.
It's a spiritual moment. It's an awakening, and it's a revival here in America. Can you?
Jesus Christ! Could he pick any of the word? Can he pick worse words to use? It's an awakening. Well, okay. Well, one person I know is not waking up. It's a revival. Okay. Well, that didn't work either because he wasn't revived. Like the worst possible fucking language you could possibly use. Good job, Benny. Way to go. Way to go. Yep, there you go. All 25 people that came on the Turning Point bus are actively wearing the T-shirt and yelling behind Benny Johnson for this for this Fox News live report. Right. I mean, yeah, again, the only thing he didn't say was man down. All right, let's see if we can hop on. But again, I wanted to be clear. There's many instances of this. There's many examples that we can use, but this is, I think, just kind of the latest and, again, most blatant and obvious and hypocritical uses, again, especially from the party that demagogues against and demonizes universities and colleges and schools and, liberal policies and that shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But again, if they can see a door that when they open it is going to help benefit them or Donald Trump or their wallets, then they're going to take that opportunity. Oh, thank you, Luis. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it here. Oh, this is what I didn't do. I didn't even get the self-promotional bullshit out of the way earlier. So there's Venmo up in the corner, guys. Bust a buck or two. Try your luck and support some independent media. I'm really trying to take the burden off of everybody. So if we can kind of, spread the wealth, if we can kind of, like I said, if everybody bust in $1, if anybody chips in $1, then it really goes a long way. You can also join at patreon.com/BostonBrian. You can check out becoming a channel member just underneath me for $2.99 for the month. You can help become a part of the backbone, a part of the spine of this community, which, again, the people on YouTube here, the YouTube members, and, again, the Patreon members continuously show up and show out for this show. And I cannot thank you guys enough for doing so. Again, you know how much I hate the self-promotional bullshit. There's also a couple videos that I just released. It's a slightly disheartening when you travel all the way to Europe and halfway across the world to a war zone to try to deliver some aid and stuff. And then on the way back, you try to engage in some history and you film it and you take your equipment along and then you come back and you edit it and you go through it and you make a nice 40-minute video kind of walking through history. And then out of the, 13,000 so-called subscribers I have, 500 watch it. So, got to say, it's a little disheartening, but what are you going to do? You can't win them all. But I would just appreciate if anybody, has not seen it or isn't aware that I put out those videos. Please kindly check those videos out. I put a lot of heart and I put a lot of emotion and time into bringing that to life for you guys. So I would very much appreciate if, at least a fraction of you guys watched it. It would be great. Will the government be shut down? If it is shut down, it's going to be the fault of Donald Trump and it's going to be the fault of Republicans. And that's the line and the rhetoric and the fucking the stance that we need to be taken. If it's going to be shut down, it is in no way the fault of the party that does not have the presidency, does not have the House, does not have the Senate, does not have the Supreme Court, isn't sending ICE and Border Patrol and all these fucking other law enforcement agencies around the country to disrupt and to stoke fear. That's not us. That's not us. We're not the ones not budging on all of these different, budgetary cuts. We're not the ones trying to strip healthcare away from millions and millions of people in this country. We're not the ones trying to, deport millions and millions of people regardless of their asylum status. That's not us. That ain't us. So again, the more we can fucking hammer this point that if it does shut down, it's the fault of fucking the people that are in charge. I can tell you that much. And not the Democrats, the better off that we're going to be. Right. Yeah, exactly. 20 billion to Argentina. Right. I mean, let's hammer these points home then. All right. All right. So let's get on to that exact point because, speaking about ICE and Border Patrol, the ramp up that we've seen, not in just sending, more people to places like Portland, but just the abusive and violent nature and the way that these people feel like they have carte blanche to do as they wish, when they wish, because they know Donald Trump, they know Kash Patel, they know Pam Bondi, they know Pete Hegseth, they know the rest of these assholes want this exact thing to happen. They want this to be the videos played over and over and over again, right? They want you to be intimidated. They want you to be scared. So we're going to take a look at, again, just a few of the clips that have come out over the last just couple days, really, depicting, this is one put up by Bill Madden. This is horrific. Trump, Nazi, ICE, Gestapo raided a bread garden in the heart of downtown Iowa City and assaulted and kidnapped a member of the community at his place of work. The Nazis collect a bounty for every brown-skinned person they kidnap. Let's see if we can take a look at this.
Hey, you living? I can videotape. I'm a combat vet. No, I'm a combat vet. Are you the worst is cop? Are you a cop? Are you ICE?
And you can hear the man who thank you, Captain PJ. Thank you, brother. My small contribution to help independent media such as yourself. Thank you for trying to bring critical thinking back to the masses. I'm glad I learned about your channel. Thank you, Brian. Well, thank you, Captain PJ. I appreciate that. And that is by absolutely no stretch a small contribution. That is a very substantial contribution and goes a long way in helping the channel. $20 is never a small amount. Like I said, I feel bad calling for or asking for anything more than $1 or $2, especially knowing the state of the economy, especially knowing the state of the housing market, especially knowing how much groceries are costing, how much your gas is costing, how much your electricity is costing, how much your fuel is costing. Like I hate doing it. I hate this part of the job. The self-promotional bullshit is the worst part of it. So I try to, I don't know, like I said, spread it as thin as humanly possible. So I do not put the burden on any singular group in these, in the chat or anything like that. But without the help of you people, I am not able to do this. And without the help of you people, I'll be back to a 9 to 5 real quick. And I want to make sure that I am able to continuously bring this news, continuously bring you the facts and the opinions that you don't get on mainstream media, the things that aren't covered on the mainstream media in a way they aren't covered on the mainstream media, and to, combat the bullshit, the propaganda, the lies of, again, the GOP, the Republican Party, conservatives, the Republican mainstream media. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And by no means is that a small contribution. Neither is the 10 gifted subscriptions and memberships that Carol was so generous enough to give. So thank you so much to you guys. It goes a long, long way, and I am not able to do this without your kind and generous contributions, either through Venmo, signing up at Patreon, becoming a YouTube member, things like that, super chat, super stickers. I hate to ask, and I know you guys hate doing it even more. So that's just where we are. Oh my goodness, Yvonne, thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Let's go. Let's fucking go. 20 gifted memberships. So to the 30 people in the chat that in the last couple minutes have received gifted memberships, please make sure you're thanking the incredibly generous and kind people that are gifting those memberships out. We're on our way to 1,000 memberships. Again, I can't stress how incredible that is, at least in my eyes, to only have 13,000 subscribers. But, 1,000 of those subscribers find you appealing enough, engaging enough, informational enough, informative enough that they, would go the extra mile to sign up and contribute financially. So thank you, all of you guys, Yvonne, Peter, thank you, Carol. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. PJ, you guys are really the only reason that this channel continues to grow and continues to be on the air. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys. All right, let's see if we can get back into this one here. Bam, bam. And again, this is a combat vet who announced himself, as a combat vet behind the camera, asking these people, whoever they are, to identify themselves. Are you cops? Are you ICE? Are you Border Patrol? Are you custom? Who are you? Just fucking identify yourselves, and you could avoid so much of these situations. Like, so much of the reason why people are afraid, because they're getting walked up on by people in plain clothes talking about who they're fucking these people without showing proof of identification, with fucking masks on half the time. What the fuck? I'd give you a fucking punch right to the mouth. You hopped out of a fucking truck with a mask on and started telling me you were this and that, try to put me in. Fuck you. Be the fucking hardest fight you ever had in your life. Fucking, how about hey, I'm so-and-so, here's my identification. Maybe being fucking uniform might help a little bit too. Because we've known and we've heard the reports of people now faking to be ICE, faking to be Border Patrol, to gain access into people's homes, because they know they can just waltz in, masked up, flash some fucking fake badge, and people are supposed to be, cowed into believing that that's the truth.
Hey, are you ICE or a cop? Hey, are you living?
Listen.
Call me, yeah, please, call 911. Hey, are you ICE or a cop? Hey, you live,
Gentlemen, you need to identify yourself.
Yeah, hey, are you an ICE or a cop?
And now you can hear what sounds to be the owner of the establishment, or at least somebody who's working at the establishment at the time, like, hey, you motherfuckers, you guys, can you identify yourselves? So, like, we're about to call the police on the police because you guys either refuse to identify yourselves. You're sitting there attacking a man that has no fucking clue who you are or why you're on top of him. Can you give me some identification, which is, again, not supposed to be something that is like last on the list of things to happen when law enforcement agents, show up to a scene or engage you.
Hey, are you living? Are you living? Hey, are you living? Are you ICE or a cop? Hey, are you living? Hey, look at their face. Are you ICE or a fucking cop? Are you ICE or a fucking cop? Hey, are you living? Oh, really? You're gonna fucking tase them? I got this on video. I'm a combat vet. I'm an Afghanistan combat vet. I got this on video. You won't even identify yourself.
Gentlemen, who are you with?
Who are you with?
Federal agents.
Who? ICE? Wow, you better not fucking tase them. Call the cops.
I need to see that.
Fucking pieces of shit. Look at their fucking faces. Can't even identify themselves. Pieces of fucking shit.
No, I don't know if you just caught that, but this guy here did eventually pull what looked to be a badge out of his shirt here. Let's see if we can catch it again.
Pieces of fucking shit. Racist little bastard.
Hold on.
Call the cops.
I need to see that.
Fucking pieces of shit. Look at their fucking faces.
So it looks to me like he did pull out whip, but what the fuck is the point of doing it at this point? What is what does this achieve at this point? Like, why not do this at the beginning of it and say, hey, I am a federal agent. We're here to talk to you about such and such. We need to talk to you about this. We have this court order. We have this warrant, or we've been authorized by this person, whatever the fuck. Like, wouldn't that avoid half of the fucking scuffles and half of the fucking violent shit that we've seen so far? Like, all you have to do is identify your fucking self. Not be in mass. Be in fucking uniform. Have your badges visible. Your name's visible. Have some fucking, legal justification for doing what you're doing. And then we could probably avoid all of this shit. And good on the, good on the fucking, the vet here filming this shit.
Can't even identify themselves. Pieces of fucking shit. Racist little bastards. You fucking piece of... You fucking... Don't you touch me, I'll knock you the fuck out. I'm a combat vet. Afghanistan combat vet. What a fucking... We're following you fucking pieces of shit. Fucking pieces of shit. Look at these motherfuckers. Racist little pieces of shit. Call the...
And like I say, film and follow ICE wherever you can. Good on that vet. Good on that guy for not only filming this entire interaction, but giving him the fucking piece of the mind, too. Because that's just as important every single time. And then you got this, a highly trained ICE agent pointing his gun at people while his clip is laying on the fucking ground. Talk about who trained this asshole? Dean Cain? Was this a fucking Dean Cain trainee? Because chances are you're not getting too far. You're not doing too much with that as long as the fucking clip's on the ground, you fucking cocksucker. And it goes on here. This is one that I'm sure you guys witnessed. This is what, if you haven't seen this clip, this has been making its rounds here. The ICE officer who shoved an Ecuadorian woman to the floor has been relieved of his duties and is under investigation, but I do believe has since been reinstated. So you take a look at this and you tell me if this guy deserves to be reinstated.
Come on, man. Come on.
And I believe there's a different angle to that one. Let me see if this is, I think this is the different angle here. Let me see if I can bring this up for you guys.
Adios. 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 Come on, man.
You weak, pathetic, pussy, bitch-ass motherfucker. You pussy-ass motherfucker. And they're trying to say that this was an attack, that she attacked him. Is this an attack? Do you see any fucking attack here? Is she causing him any... What is she... What the fuck? You punk pussy-ass bitch. How about that? And you know what? I would rail against everybody else in that fucking hallway not stepping up, but you can't. What are you going to do? What are they going to risk? Federal fucking charges? Huh? I mean, they got everybody in a position where they got them by the fucking balls. Because if they step in this position, guess what? You're fucking in there for federal charges too. And who knows what that fucking consists of, what type of fine, how much you pay for lawyers, if you'll actually be incarcerated and for how long. So who the fuck is supposed to step up in this situation? And if I'm not mistaken, the woman is distraught because her significant other, her family member, has been taken. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe she's distraught because of another incident. These fucking heartless motherfuckers. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I do believe that I read, let's see here. Oh, here's another one too. This guy's suing for 50 million. This guy's suing for 50 mil. Here we go. Here's another incident.
A 79-year-old business owner says he was body slammed and pinned to the ground by federal agents during an immigration raid despite being a U.S. citizen. We're hearing more from him tonight as he files a $50 million lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security. Fox 11's Laura Diaz now with the details. Laura?
Surveillance video shows agents first approaching the elderly man inside of his business 2 weeks ago.
Christ. Well, what the fuck is that? I mean, above and beyond everything else, can you not fucking treat people with respect? Do you see the fucking carte blanche that Donald Trump has given these fucking cocksuckers? These fat fucking prick, these fucking no talent having, these fucking no fucking skill having waste of fucking spaces. These Gestapo Nazi motherfuckers. You don't like it? Then stop acting like it. You Gestapo Nazi brown shirt thug fat fucks. Stick it up your fucking ass. I will.
He says he attempted to ask them what they needed and pleaded with them to allow his workers to retrieve their papers proving they had a right to work in the U.S. Instead, he was thrown to the ground.
So you were ambushed 2 times, one in the hallway? One in the hallway and one outside.
Undeterred, he followed the agents outside, where he says the encounter escalated, even though he was respectful. Rafi was now terrified, outnumbered, and outmuscled.
What can I do for...
No, he wasn't out-muscled. He was out-fucking-fatted. He was out-fucking-fatted by a couple fat-ass motherfuckers. That's what he was. These ain't fucking muscle. This ain't muscle. That's fucking chub. That's fucking flub fat from a fucking piece of shit. That's what that is. That's a guy that's fucking had about 17 fucking hamburglers for breakfast and fucking doesn't know the law from his asshole and his elbow. This ain't fucking muscle. This is fucking losers. These are fucking chump pieces of shit that have no fucking life, no fucking family, no fucking girlfriends that give a shit about them. And they fucking get their fucking rocks off by playing fucking dress up with fucking guns and fucking vests and masks and shit and throwing old fucking people to the ground, beating up fucking pregnant women and arresting fucking U.S. citizens. They're weak, pathetic pieces of shit. Every single fucking one of them that's still involved with these fucking raids, with this operation, is a cock-sucking Nazi motherfucker. How about that? How about that? Come fucking get me, motherfucker. You want some fucking rhetoric? I'll give you rhetoric. I'll give you some fucking rhetoric. Self-defense isn't violence. Self-defense isn't fucking violence. And if I have to fucking self-defend myself against these motherfuckers, I'm going to fucking do just that. And you're going to feel the fucking wrath of my fucking self-defense because that's not violence. I am defending me. I am defending my fucking property. I'm defending my fucking rights and my fucking family. So come try me, motherfucker.
Rafi was now terrified, outnumbered, and outmuscled.
What can I do for you? That one of the guys came grab me here and 2 guys attacked me from the back and they threw me on the ground.
At a news conference Thursday called by Shoehead's attorney announcing a $50 million civil rights claim, Rafi said that he suffered multiple broken ribs, damage to his brain from being slammed headfirst into the ground.
And it goes on, and it goes on. That's not the only ones. That's not the only ones. Let me see, because I'm pretty sure that reported that that guy was back on the job. I want to see here. Nope, that's Dean Cain being trained. I just want to see, because I'm pretty sure that I saw that that guy was reinstated. Here's another video from, what was this, 19 hours ago. Let's see what this is. Yep, there you go. Push that all. Yo, shoot him with the paper. Look at this. Whoa. 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 What the fuck? All right. All right. All right. Where does the line, when was the line crossed, and where the fuck do we go as a public? How do we know what to do when we have never faced something like this? How the fuck do we know what to do? How do we know what is too far? Can we cross the line at this moment in time, or has the line been crossed and we're just doing what the fuck we need to defend ourselves? Because when the fuck is it going to be enough? When the fuck do we march hand in hand down the streets, shutting shit down until this shit stops? Okay? I'm not calling for violence. I'm not calling for fucking acts of reprisals against anybody, but I am talking about shutting shit the fuck down. We walk down every fucking main street, linked arm in arm, shutting the shit down until something fucking changes. No business, no fucking corporation, nobody makes a fucking dollar in this country until something fucking changes. Fuck. Like shooting her with the paintballs and shit too?
That was really cool, guys. Damn, bitch, do any of you motherfuckers got jobs? J-O-B, job. This is what we voted for. Every single one of us on the right are absolutely ecstatic watching these videos of you little fucking terrorists getting tossed around. Why, you ask? Oh, because we're not allowed to toss your fucking terrorist ass around. We have to.
There you go. Another strong Republican just being fucking elated at seeing women tossed around by people in fucking masks with paintball guns and body armor like they're fucking tough guys. Like they're fucking tough guys. Jesus H Christ. And I thought when he was talking about, hey, do you guys have fucking jobs? I thought he was talking about the fat fucking volunteers pretending to be fucking law enforcement. You know, trained by fucking Superman, Dean Cain themselves. Let's see what else. I think there's a few more. Oh yeah, I want to see if this fucking asshole has been reinstated. Let's see here. The racially profiling, snatching people. Which one's this? Let's see here. I'm pretty sure, guys. I'm pretty fucking sure I saw that guy was reinstated. Can you imagine? So this is that. That's that same one. That's that same photo. The wife in a documentary shoved to the wall and slammed to the ground. Nope. So let's see here. I'm telling you, I know that I saw it somewhere. See here. Does anybody know how to be in? Oh, this is just this is the extension of that same situation, if I'm not mistaken.
Pull her away. Pull her away.
Look at her. Look at her. Got her by the hair. Kid being squished up against the fucking wall. This guy's got the fucking kid with a death grip on his skull here.
Suelta la niña. 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 No estoy haciendo nada. No estoy haciendo nada. No estoy haciendo nada.
United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, 2025. 2025. Oh, here you go. Here you go right here. Here you go right here. The ICE agent who was forced to defend himself. Forced to defend himself. I'm pretty sure we just watched the video. And in fucking absolutely no way, shape, or form was he in any fucking danger, under any threat. I don't even think she fucking touched him. The ICE agent who was forced to defend himself against the wife of an illegal, of an undocumented immigrant who attacked him in New York City immigration courthouse has been returned to full active duty after review of the footage proved the officer was assaulted by the woman. Now, that's the footage that we saw, the footage that I showed you. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. We'll go back. Does this look like this guy was being assaulted?
Adios. 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 Come on, man.
That's a justified act. That could be claimed. You fucking weak, pathetic motherfuckers. I'm sorry. You must be the weakest people, the biggest snowflakes on the fucking face of the planet if that constituted a threat worth fucking that force. You are in the wrong line of work if you cannot fucking keep a level head beyond that point. Unreal. Unfucking real. And again, when the hell the people will rise up, when the hell the people are going to band together and shut shit down and walk fucking hand in hand through every fucking capital, through every main street in this fucking country until some change is fucking seen, until some policy change is enacted. I don't know what else to do. Because things are only going to fucking disintegrate. They're only going to get worse. People are only going to start taking fucking matters into their own hands at an even more egregious level if something is not done by either the fucking people in power or the people representing us right now. If we don't see some fucking fight, if we don't see some fucking action, if we don't see something happening, then unfortunately, people, whether fucking in right mind or out of right mind, are going to take the fucking things, they're going to take things into their own hands. And that's not what this fucking country is built on. That's not what is going to fucking make this country succeed. It's only going to make things worse, which is why we need to put our fucking foot down sooner rather than later. Sooner rather than fucking later. All right, switching up gears now before I get thrown off of the fucking internet for my lifetime. We're going to be talking about here the Russian gas crisis that has been going on and the fucking incredible job over the last month or two, a little bit over 2 months, that Ukraine has been doing in engaging Russian oil refineries. And again, the head that it's come to now in seeing the fuel shortages, the long lines, the exorbitant gas prices, fucking trains going off the tracks, you name it, and we're seeing it right now. So here's just a short video that I wanted to play just to kind of get you updated on, the success recently by the Ukrainian military and the effect that it's having on the Russian military and in particular places like Crimea and in particular gas all over the country. So let's see if we can take a look here. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. I almost apologize for going off. I'm not sorry for going off. I may be a little sorry that I swore maybe too much than I should have. But I am absolutely not apologizing for my passion, my aggression, my frustration. My level of anger, I do not apologize for. I am not sorry for, and I will not back down, or that will not stop. My level of frustration and anger will only grow. And again, I continue to say that nobody on the planet has done more to radicalize me than Donald fucking Trump. And it continues to do so every single day. So if the right wing, if Republicans and fucking Benny Johnson want to get mad at anybody for the radicalization of the fucking left, they only have one man to fucking blame. So let's get into this video here. Again, this is gas stations in Russia are closing en masse. Fuel crisis is beginning to engulf Moscow, not just Crimea, Moscow. Let's go.
Gas stations in Russia are being shut down en masse due to drop in production at oil refineries amid Ukrainian drone attacks. Over the past 2 months, the number of gas stations in the country has decreased by 360, or 2.6%, according to media reports.
Hey, you know what? Why don't I just do this? Probably make more sense, right? Probably make more sense. Let's see. Put this on the screen for you guys. Boom. Temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine. All right, here we go. Might as well, right? What the fuck? I'm going to get you to watch it one way. Play. Ukrainians to do so much with so little. Their ability to pull off so much with so little. And it just continues over the last month and a half. They have done such an incredible job of targeting Russian infrastructure, Russian oil infrastructure, oil refineries, that now it is really coming to a head. We're seeing more and more articles like this. This is from Ukrainska Pravda. Fuel crisis begins in Crimea as filling stations reportedly run out of petrol. As of 24 September, all grades of petrol, including the premium A100, have completely disappeared from filling stations in Russian-occupied Crimea. A local human rights activist who asked to remain anonymous said, "The thing the Crimeans were afraid of has happened. The filling stations have no petrol, and many are shutting down altogether so they don't have to pay their staff. The fuel collapse has begun, has hit both ordinary Crimeans and businesses. The activist noted that while the state-funded companies are still receiving fuel ration coupons, albeit in minimal amounts, private firms and companies are facing major problems and suffering heavy losses due to the breakdown of their transport operations. There are fewer cars on the road. The fixed route minibuses are packed because people can't drive. Many people are openly voicing their anger, blaming the incompetence of the Kremlin leadership, which is not something you openly hear a lot, the activist added. Reuters also goes on to say that as of 26 August, Russian oil companies had lost 17% of their refining capabilities. I believe that's roughly 1.2 million barrels. Fuel shortages are being observed in 20 regions of Russia and in the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine. Meanwhile, fuel prices continue. I think that's a big fucking point, too. That is a big point that they don't want you to know. So they want you to think Russia, this being Russia, the Russian state propaganda, Russian state media, want you to think that this is contained to the Crimea. They want you to think this is contained just to, the areas closest, again, the occupied areas, when in reality, this has spread far and wide. Here, let me see if I can bring this up again, because this kind of details a little bit of how deeply it's spread into Russia. Let me see if I can get into just a little bit of this right here.
Would be taken to ensure the market has energy. This discussion is significant for global markets, as Russia remains one of the world's most important suppliers of diesel fuel, essential for freight transport.
And again, this is fucking crazy. This is an unreal problem to have for a country that I think McCain explained it or described it as, a gas station fucking, disguised as a country, as a functioning country. I think I'm paraphrasing obviously on that one, but for a country that's supposed to be known for its oil and gas exports, to be having this problem is a fucking serious embarrassment. And again, they don't want to bring up the fact they'll talk about they'll talk about the shortages, but they will not talk about the fact that it's because of the Ukrainians' ability to get through the Russian air defenses and strike these oil refineries at will that is causing these shortages. So they refuse to get at the root cause of the problem. They will tell you that there's shortages because they have to acknowledge it because of, how widespread it is at this point, but they refuse to say it's because of the lack of Russian air defenses, the lack of their ability to shoot down the drones, and the ability of the Ukrainians to, again, get through the Russian air defenses at will to strike these oil refineries like they have been doing for, again, over a month, over 2 months at this point, throughout the war, but it has really ramped up, and it has really, again, seen some really good results of late. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Luis, as well. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
Shipping and agriculture. Any supply disruptions, even if they affect only resellers, signal a
and then there was, not only is there the gas shortages too, but they're dealing with, stupid accidents like train. Here, check this out. Ready?
A freight train transporting fuel has collided with a heavy truck in Russia's Smolensk region, worsening the fuel crisis in the country. The accident occurred on Friday morning between Rudnya and Galinka stations in the region, authorities reported. As a result of the truck entering the railway track, 18 fuel tank cars and the locomotive derailed and overturned. This led to.
Now, I'm just going to say that's probably not going to help the fuel crisis. That's probably not going to help the fuel shortages. Anybody that was waiting for that train and whatever was on that train, I'm going to assume they're going to be waiting a little bit longer unless they want to come start scraping up the dirt and sucking out whatever's left. I'm just saying, probably not going to help. Just because there was a drunk Russian that drove his truck on the train tracks, and now they got fucking 18 to 25 more fuel cars being burnt up right in front of their fucking faces to, again, add to the fuel crisis. The incompetence is now being added on to their incompetence.
Fire. The train driver applied emergency brakes, but the insufficient distance made a collision unavoidable, Moscow Railway said in a statement. Video footage released from the scene of the accident and shared on Telegram channels shows some of the fuel tankers and other freight.
Yeah, look at this. Watch this video right here. Look at that shit. Quite literally sounds like the freight train is still moving. Look at that shit. What an absolute mess. And then they go on here, I believe, to talk about further Ukrainian strikes on Russian ports, which is adding to the fuel crisis as well.
Russia's two largest oil ports on the Black Sea have halted oil loading onto tankers following overnight drone strikes by Ukraine, Bloomberg reports. Preliminarily, the reports refer to two major terminals near Novorossiysk in Russia, the Caspian Pipeline Consortium Terminal and the Cheskirys Oil Depot. While the SRS stated that the halt was solely due to air raid alerts, exact details regarding the Cheskirys Depot are not yet available beyond the fact that operations have stopped. Together, these two terminals export over 2 million barrels of oil per day from Russia and Kazakhstan.
2 million barrels a day, and I'm not 100% sure if this is one of the refineries that they're being talked about, but oil pumping station in Russia's Trafficking is Republic suspends operations after drone attack, SBU sources say. This is from the Kiev Independent. This is operations at the Tin Ogorvato oil pumping station in Russia's Chuvash Republic has been suspended after being damaged in a Ukrainian drone attack overnight, September 27th. Source Ukrainian Security Service told the Kiev Independent long-range drones of the SBU's Special Operations Center A carried out the operation to target the station, which is located in the village of Kovar, 1,000 kilometers, 620 miles from Ukraine, according to the source. Russian Governor Oleg Nikolaev said earlier on September 27th that the station had suspended operations after Ukraine drone tracks, sustaining minor damage. No casualties reported. The source said no pumping station number 1 was hit, caught fire, leading to a suspension of oil transportation through the station. Again, there's just reports after reports after reports that we can talk about here. Talking about the fuel crisis. You can talk. Let me see if I can pull up a couple. Let me see if I can pull up a couple here. Russian gas. Let's see, because we got there was a bunch of them being shown online, either long lines, strikes on the oil refineries. Let's see if we can get some of these lines here. Let's see. Due to systematic Ukrainian drones, fuel shortages emerging across Russia. Long queues. Look at these lines that they've.
Слышь, что за нахер за херня получается? Гляньте. Обалдеть, чего оно так? Что за ажиотаж непонятно? Искусственный 100%. Что это такое? Офигеть. Аж специально поехал так глянуть.
Holy shit.
Нормально.
I don't even know where's the gas station?
Прикиньте.
Oh, there it is. That's wild. And again, these are, you can see video after video after video like this. Here you go. Is another one. Just a bunch of buses. Some of the gas stations are saying no fuel, no diesel. Some of them are saying like special vehicles only, which I'm assuming means military vehicles or alike. You know, people from the special services, people working in the government, that type of thing. Let's see here. There's high prices, no prices. Yeah, here's one that has absolutely no gas here. People showing nothing on the board or just diesel. I think the last one there is diesel. Zeros all around. Zeros all around. And the last one, I think, like I said, is diesel. So there's that. And then, like, there's even videos by Russians being put out that are extremely frustrated. Let's see if I can find a couple of those ones. That's the train. Yep, people pissed about the high gas prices. At least there is gas there. Let's see, Russian gas crisis. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, here's another one here. Zeros, all zeros. There's a, I mean, again, for Russians to be putting out like frustrating videos, like showing them frustratedly driving around looking for fucking gas. Let's see here. I know there was one that I was talking about here. Let's see. Muscovites keep complaining about the lack of gas. Friends, this is already the 4th gas station on the highway today where I've tried to fill up with 95 octane fuel. None of them had it. I really hope this is just a temporary glitch. All right, so you got, again, for them to be putting out videos is not something like typically done, again, when it's something that, reflects poorly upon the Russian government, when, shows signs of weakness, shows where they're vulnerable. More gas stations that have absolutely no gas there. There's more lines here. And again, for this to be hitting places like St. Pete, like Moscow, just goes to show how far away and how far reaching it is, well beyond just places in the Crimea, right? I mean, the videos go on and on and on. So, but that's led to things like this, though. That just continuously leads. The more you make Russia look stupid, the more they try to retaliate, and the more they try to, take out civilians on your side. So let's remember what we just saw: Ukraine, the Ukrainian military going after, justifiable military targets used to run the war machine. Right now, let's hear from the BBC what kind of targets were struck in retaliation by Russia, as they have been doing.
I'm Martine Croxall. Ukraine has come under heavy bombardment from Russia for more than 12 hours overnight, with its capital the main target. These are live pictures from Kiev. Ukraine's Air Force says Russia launched almost 600 drones and 48 missiles in its latest attack on Ukraine, killing 4 people, injuring dozens, and damaging civilian infrastructure.
Now, does that look like a military target? Does that look like a military installation? Does that look like, I don't know, tanks or a drone factory, or I don't know, places making armored personnel carriers or chips even? Does that look like, or did the woman just say civilian areas?
On Ukraine, killing 4 people, injuring dozens, and damaging civilian infrastructure.
Damaging civilian infrastructure. So not military targets, not targets used to, again, continue the war machine like Ukraine has continuously throughout the war been taking out when they target when they target anything, really. But this is just, again, apartment blocks, businesses, homes, schools, churches, hospitals being struck by the other side.
President Volodymyr Zelensky said Moscow wants to keep on fighting and killing and deserves only the harshest pressure from the outside world. Poland scrambled its aircraft because of the strikes, but says they've now returned to base. The mayor of Kiev, Vitaly Klitschko, has been speaking to reporters about the latest attacks.
This last attack, one more attack in last night in our hometown. It's 6 districts have damages, a lot of buildings.
You gotta love Vitaly Klitschko. I don't know if anybody if all of you guys are familiar with Klitschko, but former boxer, turned mayor. This guy has been a fighter for a long time. He has stood up for not only himself, but stood up for the people of Ukraine, stood up for the city of Kiev in a major way. And he continues to do so. So if you're not familiar with his background, I would definitely ask you to check out what he's into and see if this is anybody you'd think the Russians want to be playing around with. Don't think so.
Was destroyed. One of them behind me, and in this moment we can talk about 4 people died, and from 4 people it's 12-old girl.
So 4 people dead, one of them a 12-year-old girl, he says here. Again, are those justifiable military targets? Is that a retaliation by an army, a military that is strong, that had, that does not, that can distinguish between, again, civilian targets and military targets, and is conducting a war in the manner, say appropriate, deemed appropriate by the Geneva Conventions, the rules of war, international law? No, it's the complete and total opposite. This is not 2 militaries fighting the same war. This is 2 completely different wars being fought at the same time. One, continuously taking out justifiable military targets, military installations with fucking a purpose. Actively trying to stay away from civilian populations, actively trying to minimize civilian casualties. And then you got one side lobbing 600 fucking drones into the city's capital, into residential areas at will every single night. But they somehow, both of these militaries are being afforded the same respect, if not Russia being afforded more respect by the United States government, when it's fucking easy to see which military is fucking actively fighting a humane war, right? or just fucking self-defense, as I said. I don't even think fucking you can even say Ukraine's conducting war. They're conducting a self-defense operation is what they're fucking conducting.
8 people hospitalized and 13 people asking about medical support.
Vitaly Klitschko, our Ukraine correspondent James Waterhouse, has more on what happened overnight.
Yeah, Russia's aerial bombardments can often be as unpredictable as they are routine. I mean, Saturday night is usually a sweet spot for Moscow. And in the case of last night, the sirens went at about 1 a.m. And the country's air raid app urged people to head to the...
So fucking predictable, too. They're so fucking predictable because when I was in Kiev, the air raid siren would go off between 12 and 1 a.m., you'd get fucking back to bed, and then you'd get another air raid siren between 3 and 4, typically. That way, they were always breaking up your night's sleep, regardless if fucking drones came in, regardless if you were awakened by anti-aircraft fire or not. You're awoken by the sirens. You're awoken by the fact that you have to make the decision, okay, do I walk down to the shelter now, or is this going to be another one of those fucking false alarms, right? So that in and of itself is keeping you up all night. That in and of itself is keeping you from your 8 hours of sleep, which again, for long periods of time, absolutely will have an effect on your mental ability, your mental fucking health, and then your decision-making capabilities, going forward. So that is an act of mental warfare in and of itself. The timing of the fucking air raids. Again, even if they did, they don't even have to send drones in, even though they absolutely have been on, in an ever increasing amount since Donald Trump started giving them 50 days and 10 days and 10 days and 10 days and 10 days. Since he's been weak as a motherfucker on this, Russia has only increased its level of violence, increased its level of attacks on civilian infrastructure. And now because they're embarrassed, because it's being widely reported about the fuel shortages now being seen by Russians all over Russia, not just in Crimea. Now they feel like they have to, ramp up the attacks even more, right? To show that they're the big fucking tough guy, the big fucking alpha male in the situation that, the people that Trump loves, striking fucking defenseless and innocent civilian fucking infrastructure.
The shelter. And stay there. You could hear anti-aircraft fire. They're sort of dotted around Kiev, but you can hear them. Behind me is the eastern flank of the city. Then you can hear them trying to intercept these Iranian-designed Shahed drones, which Russia is just churning out at the moment. They typically launch hundreds in a single attack, and last night was clearly no exception. You could then hear periodic explosions.
I can't even imagine what 600 Shahed drones sounds like flying overhead. Like, I mean, any history buffs, any history lovers, or people that know anything about World War II know about the psychological warfare, the psychological damage that even the siren on the Stuka dive bomber had. Right, the siren that they put underneath that wailing, that whining sound that they had. Let me see if I can find. So just the knowledge that they had that this in and of itself would be a weapon. Yeah, let's see if I can put this on. Ready? This sound right here. If I can. Right, so that famous sound that we've all heard either in documentaries, recreations, movies, whatever it may be, that sound right there was something that the Germans put on knowing that it would have a psychological impact, knowing that it would have an impact on morale. Just the fucking thought, just the sound, just the fear instilled in somebody hearing that sound, knowing that when you hear the sound, afterwards is going to come a bomb, right? Not knowing where that explosion comes from, not knowing, where that is going to where it's going to pop off, but just knowing that you hear that sound is a fucking problem. And it's it's like the Russians. It's like that's the drone is now the new Stuka. Right, the sound of a fucking FPV drone, the sound of these bigger drones now stalking you in daytime, stalking you at night, knowing that there's no place to hide. You can go in your bunker. You can go in your shelter, and that fucking drone knows exactly where you were. He could probably follow you right through the fucking door if he wants to. And if not, he's got enough explosives hooked onto it where he could just fucking run into the outside of the building and probably cause you severe damage anyway. So that Stuka, that the Stuka sound that, scared the Polish, that scared the fucking Russians, right? That scared the French, that scared so many different countries, is now being used. That same psychological warfare is now being used, again, by both sides. But that is now the new Stuka, is the sound of the drone. And now, every time I hear one, it takes me back to the drone demonstrations and the polygons that we got. And, just when you close your eyes and you think about trying to run and where you could possibly hide, and just hearing the buzzing and knowing it's going so much faster than you are. It's so much more maneuverable. Like there's just no outrunning it, right? It's just a terrifying thought. So to have 600 Shahed drones, which are fucking big drones. Let me see here. Let's see. Images. So if I can see one here you go. Let's see if we can share this tab instead. So, you get kind of the representation of the size. So, kind of 600 of those things buzzing over your head at the same time as you have anti-aircraft fire going off. Patriot missile systems trying to track these things down. It's fucking one hell of a fucking sound. Like it's a scary situation. And again, that's even before the drones. Drones have made it past the air defenses and will strike. That is just the sound of them buzzing outside of the region. And again, the air defense is getting their fucking, getting their shots off, trying to take these things down. It's fucking terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying, and to experience that on a daily basis, day in and day out, during the day, at night, for these soldiers is just something that I could fucking absolutely never in my wildest dreams even attempt to try to comprehend. And it's crazy, but let's see if they give any more information about the strikes here.
A few days. They are able to sustain that. Whereas if you're Ukraine, you don't want to be using, multi-million-pound missiles from a sophisticated Western supplied battery. So that is why we see these 50 caliber machine guns, these mobile units move around. But of course, as ever, it is not just Kiev that feels the full force.
Right, and again, if the Ukrainians knew that they could depend upon the United States for as many fucking Patriot air defense missiles as they could handle, as we could possibly make, as we could possibly ship, as we could possibly fund, then I think they'd be a little more apt to use those and would probably see less destruction. But because they're probably unsure of just how many of these Patriot missile systems they're going to be able to receive and just how long they're going to be able to get them, they're trying to use more cost-effective ways. Like when I went to Ukraine, we visited multi anti-aircraft batteries strung up and along the Dnieper River, which when a Russian drone would fly up the river, it would be their task, their job in order to shoot those things down. And they were manned. They were basically just Soviet-era barges with Soviet-era anti-aircraft weapons on them, machine guns on the top. I forget the exact weapon that was on the top of the ones that we saw, but I think they had quad machine guns on it. They were fucking old as shit, but still probably effective. And the thing was manned by judges. By judges, not by military members, not by special forces, not by snipers, not by fucking drone operators, by members of the fucking Ukrainian Supreme Court itself, by members of the lower court, by civilian volunteers that just felt it to be their duty, felt it to be their part, where they knew that they could take the time off. They did it in rotations. They had shifts. And whenever they were called upon by the military, said, "Hey, drone coming up," they'd fucking pop up to the roof of that thing, uncover the guns, and start fucking popping away, trying to get that thing before it reached the city center. And those are all up and down the Dnieper, all up and down the river there. Of, again, civilians people that working in jobs that would never in a million years have taken them in the military direction, or involve them in weaponry or ammunition or drones or anything like that. Just doing their part.
Zaporizhia this time around in the east, Sumy in the northeast, Odessa in the south, all go through similar. And
again, we hear things like this, but we also see, like I said before, stories like this where police break up ring trafficking Kenyans to fight for Russia in Ukraine. Right? More than 20 people have been rescued in Kenya from a suspected human trafficking ring that lured them with job offers in Russia, but intended to send them to fight in Ukraine. It follows an intelligence-led raid on residential apartment on the outskirts of the capital, Nairobi, where officers seized recruitment materials, travel documents, and job offer letters. One suspect accusing of coordinated the victims travel to Russia in September and October has been arrested. He was taken out. He was taken to court, which allowed him to be detained for 10 days while the police completed their investigations. There have been growing concerns over the rising number of Kenyans being trafficked abroad under false job premises. A total of 22 Kenyans were found in an apartment in the Athi River awaiting processing to Russia. I mean, we know that we've known for a long time about Russia, Russia's involvement in Africa. So this probably comes as no surprise to many, but obviously not the sign. This isn't an example of a strong military, of what a strong military would do, again, or if they had no problems recruiting inside their own country. I don't see why they'd have to go to Kenya to find people to fight for them, right? But all right, so switching it up, what time we got? All right, we got a little bit of time here. So all right, switching up topics just a little bit, getting back into our, I might have to go up. I might have to stop this and go down again and then go up. All right.
It is really military targeted.
This is Ibrahim Al-Khalil. He's an Al Jazeera reporter. He is on the ground here in Gaza City, and he is reporting on what he's seen. And this is, I believe, from the 26th of September. So let's just see what we could get from his reporting.
Home here in a Roman neighborhood west of Gaza City, and this is the aftermath. As you can clearly see, medical crews are trying to retrieve the killed Palestinians. As you can clearly see, the situation here is apocalyptic. We can clearly see the search process is still continuing here in this place. This residential neighborhood is still packed with many people who have chosen to stay, and this is the targeted residential building in Al-Raman neighborhood west of Gaza City. The situation is going from bad to worse in the light of the ongoing Israeli escalation of attacks targeting different sites and locations. We can really see here the situation is chaotic. Rescue efforts are being exerted by people. As you can clearly see, the attack came without any prior warning.
We left death behind us in Al Nasser neighborhood and came to Al Rimmel, west of Gaza City. Suddenly, the Israelis hit the building in front of us with 2 missiles. It is something beyond logic or humanity. Where is the entire world? They're only watching us die under fire.
As you can clearly see, they are trying to get this trapped Palestinians out from under the debris of this destroyed residential building, which was hit without any prior warning. You can clearly see here many people gather just to rescue Palestinians.
This is a multi-story building in Al Rimal. The Israeli warplanes bombed this building. There are a number of killed people under the rubble. The civil defense teams are working hard to recover them. We have rescued 5 people and there are 2 others under the rubble.
This once meant to be a neighborhood for refuge. People sought refuge here, but they ended up being targeted and brutally killed by the Israeli military.
Fucking hell, huh? Just fucking sick shit going on. And you hear them, it's like, well, we came here because they bombed us out of our fucking homes. We were told to flee here. We were told it would be safe here. And then when we got here, the Israeli bombed the buildings in front of us. It's, I don't know, it's obviously hard to put into words shit like that when you see it. But, you know, obviously something that is very important to continue to be reported on, continue to be highlighted, regardless of, again, the ridiculous number of growing ever important things that we need to cover. That should absolutely be at the top of the list. And it was good to see. It was good to see the members of the UN the other day walking out on Benjamin Netanyahu as well. But yeah, just I don't know, just more. Obviously, more needs to be done. It needs to be talked about more. It needs to be brought up more. Good to see that different countries around the world have recognized Palestinian statehood, but not enough, not a fuck enough by any stretch of the imagination. So, all right, what do we got here? We got roughly 35 minutes to get into some of these idiots. Oh, and you know what? Speaking of which, did you guys see that the I've Had It podcast? What was it, Jen? I think she sat down and questioned a politician. Let's see if I can bring this up here. I think the Majority Report. Let me see if I can bring up the Majority Report. I think they had a kind of a good clip on this because they showed. Yeah, was it this one? Yeah, I think it was this. Let me see if I can share this.
Jennifer Welch, who was on.
This is a quick one because I'm not sure who this guy is, but this isn't a good way to answer these questions here. And this is dealing with AIPAC, the Israel lobby. Let's see. I don't know who this guy is. Fill me in if you guys know. But let's hear what his answer is when questioned by Jennifer Welch whether or not he's going to accept AIPAC money. Check this out.
Take AIPAC money.
Will you take AIPAC money, or have you taken AIPAC money?
I'm not certain if I've taken it or not. I've been in office 10 years. It doesn't jump out at me.
He's been in office 10 years and he doesn't know. And he doesn't know if he's taken AIPAC money. He has no idea if he's ever taken money from an Israeli lobby whatsoever. He's unsure. And it says Lieutenant Governor, hold on, let me see. Lieutenant Governor Duncan, not familiar with what state, not familiar with his politics at all, but obviously not starting off on a strong note here. And she goes on to press him.
As I'm taking it, but I think the most important part.
But will you for this race?
I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it.
Okay, come on, Jeff.
He has no idea. He hasn't even thought about it. An ongoing genocide being perpetrated by Israel, the government of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, Smotrich, and the United States is actively, continuously funding that genocide. And you haven't even thought about whether or not you're going to accept money from AIPAC or an Israeli lobby. What the fuck is that?
Like there's a genocide going.
Yeah. He was a Republican until very, very recently this year. So I'm sorry for getting that wrong.
And he's running for a Democratic.
Mhm.
He's running for the Democratic nominee as governor.
Yes, I stand corrected. That's why he's going on their show.
I've been in office 10 years. It doesn't jump out at me as I'm taking it. But I think the most important part.
But will you for this race?
I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it.
Okay, come on, Jeff. This is there's a genocide going on right now. And even human rights, Israeli human rights groups see this, that the United States of America is funding.
To see these kids starving.
And to not know if you're going to be beholden to the Israeli lobby is to me is not something that should take time to think about, because you started off this interview with us talking about your faith.
It is.
Will you take AIPAC money in this race?
I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it.
Ridiculous. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous to go on an interview in front of a camera and have no answer whatsoever to that, and especially give that answer. I don't know who his team is. I don't know who his fucking press, corps is, or whatever you want to call it, or his speech team, but they all need to be fired. Every single one of his staff needs to be fired. It needs to be looked into whether or not he's taking AIPAC money and whether or not he fucking is speaking to people to take AIPAC money in the future. Otherwise, there's absolutely nothing I want to hear from this guy. So that was just, like I said, a short clip. I wanted to kind of throw that one out there. I'm going to see if I can close down a few of these. That way I'm not slowing everything down. And then we'll get into, I know, just a couple of these short videos that I had on some Republicans that we need to call out, some idiots here. One of them being fucking... Look at him. Look at this fucking guy, will you please? Look at this guy. All right, let me see. Hold on. Let's see where he starts here. Let's see if we can pop in the beginning. Look at this fucking bullshit. From his fucking lodge, from his cabin. Oh my goodness. Does Don Jr. a couple fishing poles and an 8-ball, ladies and gentlemen. What else? Fucking what a fishing trip this is gonna be. Woo! I'm gonna go wrestle a fucking moose down with my bare hands. Look at him. Oh my God. How fucking far have we fallen? I would take Hunter Biden fucking 10 days out of 10 days, twice on Sunday. All right, let's see what he's got to say here.
Episode of Triggered. I am out here in the wilderness, not the Washington wilderness, not the swamp.
Yeah, mentally.
But the real wilderness. So I'm up in the Yukon. I have a hunting camp up here with some buddies. Had my brother up.
With some buddies? Where are your buddies? Seem to be alone and in a remote cabin there, Don. The one thing I don't see is your buddies. Hold on. Maybe they're around there somewhere.
I'm chasing a really large Yukon moose with a bow and arrow.
I'm chasing a really large Yukon moose with a bow and arrow. I don't know why I get a kick out of that, but I do. Look at this fucking guy.
Staying in a very rustic cabin.
Oh, he's going to show us the cat. Okay, let's see if we can see his friends. Let's see who his friends are. How many friends does he have with him?
You guys the little tour. There's, bed, sleeping bags, my bow on the wall. There's what's keeping me warm, that stove.
And a grand total of 0 friends.
Which, if by the way, you put too many logs in, you'll sweat yourself out of here so quick, and then sometimes the fire dies.
Wow, he's been live for about 13 seconds. He's already bitching about the fucking camping experience. He's already bitching about how cold or hot that he's got to get. What a fucking snowflake. Imagine being with this guy stuck in the wilderness. Jesus Christ. The only guy out there with a little fucking silver bell. Garçon, garçon, can you feed the fire, please?
Guys, in the middle of the night, and then you get freezing. So, old rustic place. It was an old trapper's cabin.
Looks like he's been shunned to the outhouse. Looks like his friends are sick of fucking dealing with him. They can't stand hearing him anymore. They're like, yeah, why don't you take the old renovated outhouse that we put a fucking bed in? You can take that one. Sorry. The one with only one bed and the fucking, the stove that either gets too hot or goes out in the middle of the night.
Way back when, some cool history. This part of the world. Actually, my great-grandfather came up into Whitehorse, which is the nearest town away from here. It's about 300 miles by float plane, so we're literally in the middle of nowhere. That's a really small town. But during the gold rush, it was a boom town.
It'd be a shame if a blizzard rolled in.
And my grandfather came up there and actually, was working the gold rush. And my great.
So he probably owned people, right? Let me guess. He owned poor people and had them work the mines in order to get him gold. Is that how that went? Hold on. Is there a story? Is there a story we can find? Don Jr. great grandfather. Let's see here. What are the chances that he owned fucking people? Let's see. Heritage, great grandfather. Doesn't really give us much. Frederick Trump. Is that who he is? German patriarch, born in Germany. During the Klondike Gold Rush, he moved to the Yukon, made his fortune operating a restaurant and a brothel for minors. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not fucking surprised? During the Klondike Gold Rush, he moved to the Yukon and made his fortune by operating a restaurant and a brothel. How much do you want to bet he had underage girls working there? How much do you want to bet? In 1901, Trump returned to Karlstad and married Elizabeth Christ at the age of 11, probably. No, I'm just kidding. As he had failed to complete mandatory military service. What? Even he's a fucking degenerate that couldn't complete mandatory military service? Runs in the family. Everything runs in the family, apparently. Trump worked as a barber, wrote a restaurant, hotel, and began acquire real estate in Queens. Died 1918 of the flu. Let's see here. I'm going to see more about the gold mines. There's got to be more about the gold mines, right? Klondike right here. Trump opening restaurant 2002 miners. After spending $15 to register the claim, they sold it for $400 the next day. Jesus, shysters. A week later, another miner sold it for $1,000. Trump ever received money. It is unknown if Trump ever received money by the he made enough money to go to the Yukon himself. He bought all necessary supplies and remained in Monte Cristo, Seattle. Let's see. Winter Trump departure from Monte Cristo. Avalanches flood in the according to Blair's account, when Trump left the Yukon, he had no plans to do actual mining. He had no plan to do any work himself. He likely traveled the White Pass route, which included Notorious Dead Horse Trail. So named because drivers whipped the animals. Trump and other miners named Ernest Levin opened a tent restaurant along the trail. Blair writes that a frequent dish was fresh, slaughtered, quick, frozen horse. Good Lord. For single men, the Arctic has excellent accommodations as well as the best restaurant in Bennett, but I would not advise respectable women to go there to sleep, as they are liable to hear that which they would be repugnant to their feelings and uttered to be depraved by their own sex. The Arctic House is one of the largest and most extravagant restaurants in the region of the Klondike, offering fresh fruit 24 hours a day. It advertised room for ladies. Jesus Christ. Just fucking a degenerate from the start. All right. I knew that was going to fucking divulge into into debauchery real quick. I just knew there was no way that Donald Trump's great grandfather went to the Klondike with any fucking intentions in getting his own hands dirty looking for gold, as Don Jr. would love to have you believe. He didn't mention anything about the brothels. I'm surprised he's not mentioned anything about that.
I should say. Working the gold rush before all of that. So perhaps that's why I have this in my blood. That's
working the gold rush. Is that why you're going to open your own brothel out there? Is that the next Epstein Island up in the Yukon?
It's sort of my passion. But we also have.
All right, fuck. He's boring me. Let's get into a couple minutes of this, and then we'll finish with the Janet Pumps and see what information they got on the on Epstein. Let's see. I think it's called. Let's see this. 3 hours ago, it says Epstein whistleblower drops bomb on Ghislaine Trump and DOJ cover up. That's this one. So we'll get into that in just a minute. But I want to see what dead fool Tim Pool has to say.
Agents in January 6th crowd, Blaze reports, as House panel probes informants' roles. How did we get to this point? I thought we were told it was
we got to that point because, again, as we've said on the show a lot, the right-wing extremism and right-wing violence, right, and right-wing political violence and white nationalist groups like the Oath Keepers, the Three Percenters, the Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys were actually talked about by law enforcement agencies in our federal government as the number one threat to our government. To our country domestically, right? So that was why probably it was taken seriously when the FBI was getting reports from these different groups saying that, yes, they are going to storm the Capitol. They are bringing weapons. This is going to be violent. So the FBI and these other law enforcement agencies were like, we should probably have some people in there on the ground just in case some shit kicks off. So that way, we already are in place, and which is exactly what, oh my goodness. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate you, man. I really do. I really fucking do. I can't even put into words how much, it means for you to continue to support channels like this, and the way that you support this channel in particular is just unbelievable, buddy. Again, Can't thank you enough. Thank you for not only what you do for this channel, but what you do for the people of Ukraine, what you do for the military, what you do for the humanitarian convoys that go there. It's almost too much to put into words just how much effect you have on, saving people's lives, the morale, uplifting spirits, the financial support. It goes beyond anything that we could possibly thank you for on this channel in the time that we have. So, buddy, I appreciate you. Slava Ukrainia.
Couple of dozen agents. How is it now nearly 300 in total? It's because of the use of language. When they were asked about undercover agents, they said a couple dozen. Plainclothes.
I'm surprised that they want to bring this back up. I really am surprised. You think they would have learned when Tucker Carlson was out there being like, you know what? I am going to fucking re-release all of the footage from January 6th. We're going to take every single bit of it and we're going to re-release it, right? And then what he found out was that more people were ended up getting into trouble, like the people that actually slipped through the cracks in the first round and second round of investigations, right? Actually, we're getting caught up in these in the third and fourth round of the investigations because they were caught on the film again. So that kind of, slid. Oh, Jesus, criminy. I can't even, dude. Thank you. To the 50 people in the chat that now are going to receive gifted membership from Machine Tool. Please reach out. Say thank you for that ridiculously and unbelievably kind act of generosity. Again, I'm running out of. I'm gonna have to pull out the old thesaurus here. I'm running out of ways to thank you and to show my appreciation for you helping this channel and for your support of democracy, for your support of what's right, for your support of Ukraine. It's unbelievable. And again, I'm gonna have to start jotting down some more words to make it more meaningful and impactful when I thank you. So appreciate you, buddy. I really do. Hope you're having a great day. And please make sure everybody else that is you're still in touch with in the old chat that I said hi, please.
Well, that's different. They're not undercover. They're there literally as agents, but they're just wearing different clothes.
Yes, Tim. What the fuck is so hard to understand about this? I really am I'm really trying to, I'm having a hard time here. I'm trying to figure out why they think this is so crazy. Again, we know about the reports from inside the right-wing extremist groups that came before January 6th to let law enforcement know. Oh, for crying out loud. Let's see. Right-wing groups. How do you put this up? Alert FBI before J6th. Is that going to pop it up? Let's see here. FBI had informants in Proud Boys. Let's see. This is just kind of one example. One example we could point to here. Fuck you, New York Times. Well, you can get the headline. FBI had informants in Proud Boys. Court papers suggest in filings in the seditious conspiracy case against members of the far-right group. Defense lawyers claim the information favorable to their clients was improperly withheld by the government until recently. Let's see here. But basically, the gist of the whole thing is that they actually had people inside of these groups themselves contacting the FBI being like, listen, this is something you're definitely going to have to watch out for. Like, this is something you're definitely going to want to be like, on the ball for and have people fucking prepared and ready because they're going all out. You had the whole Enrique Tarrio group there, the Proud Boys, setting up people all over the city, talking about fucking transporting weapons, right? And Tim should know this because he got his ass handed to him. I believe it was by Luke Beasley about the whole January 6th investigation thing, if I'm not mistaken. All right, we're running out of time, though. Let's jump into this last clip here from Jen and Pumps. They seemingly have some new information about an Epstein whistleblower, and I want to pass that information on to you guys. So what do you say? Hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for contributing. Thank you so much for your Venmos. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Thank you so much for the super stickers and super chats. Again, I am 100% funded by you guys and you guys alone. So if you enjoy what you're watching, if you enjoy what you're seeing, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Those things are all free. And if you're in the financial position to do so, please think about busting a buck or two. Try your luck and supporting some independent media. It goes a long way. And again, as I always say, if it's not me that gives you the most bang for your buck, if it gives you the most value, then please think about supporting the independent creator or creator that does give you that most value. So I appreciate it. Let's jump into this one here and see what more information that we can get. All right. Appreciate you guys.
president is running around getting triggered by escalators and teleprompters. All of this is a distraction because he will not release the Epstein files. He won't release them because one can only deduce from it, per Elon Musk, he's cankles deep in the middle of said Epstein files. And today I'm so happy to welcome to iHip News investigative journalist Julie K. Brown. She's known for her investigative reporting for the Miami Herald that exposed the global sex trafficking operation of Jeffrey Epstein and the failures of the justice system to hold powerful men accountable. Julie, welcome to iHip News. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
So this is such a major thing to have broken that story. And I want to talk first about Alex Acosta, who has just come back in the news. So if you'll just briefly describe what Alex Acosta's role was in this, and then what just recently happened in front of the, I believe it's the Oversight Committee.
Okay. Well, Alex Acosta was an ambitious U.S. attorney in Miami. He got appointed under George W. Bush administration to head the Miami U.S. Attorney's Office right around the time that the Epstein case was being taken over by the FBI. This was about 2005, 2006. The FBI got the case from Palm Beach police after Palm Beach police found that the state attorney wouldn't prosecute Epstein. So they took it to the FBI, and now the case was landed in the lap of the U.S. attorney. And Epstein was very shrewd. What Epstein did was he plugged into lawyers that all had connections. He plugged into defense attorneys who all had connections to either Acosta or one of the line prosecutors in his office. So he plugged into their buddies, in other words. So he hired Kenneth Starr, for example. He hired a guy by the name of Jay Lefkowitz, who was with Kirkland and Ellis, which is a big time, powerful law firm. And these people were members also of the Federal Society. So they had the power to appoint Acosta theoretically to a great job after this job. And he wanted to be a Supreme Court justice. So therefore, he's looking at this case and he's thinking, I'm going to piss off a lot of people if I prosecute this guy. And ultimately.
All right. So let me see. Do they have like chapters in this where I can go in and kind of, let's see here. Transcript. No, I just kind of want to get to the newer information. I know she's kind of doing a good job here of trying to kind of, fill everybody in on the history of it, but just for time's sake, I'm going to skip ahead just a touch here.
Prosecutors, are you saying lying or
lying?
L-I-N-E. Will you explain for the layman what?
Someone that works under the U.S. attorney.
Okay.
So like an assistant U.S. attorney.
Okay, thank you. Okay, answer. I didn't know what that was, so I'm sure there's some listeners that didn't. Okay, tell us the tea.
Well, she definitely had she was dealing directly with the victims. She knew the stories that they were telling were very credible because they all matched. These were women that didn't know each other necessarily, but the same method of operation. They all told the same story. So she knew how credible that these girls were. She also knew, by the way, that they wanted him prosecuted. So the idea that, in the past, Acosta had said, well, we didn't think that we had a good case. It was weak. The victims weren't always credible. They didn't tell the same story. All these excuses really are excuses. That's exactly what they were, because Marie Villafana, who was the lead prosecutor on the case, felt very confident, in fact, confident enough that she drew up a 56-page indictment on sex crimes against Epstein. And she was, FBI agents were also beginning to get tips about the fact that this wasn't isolated to Palm Beach, that he had an island, that he had a ranch in New Mexico, that he had, that he had homes in New York, and that there were tips that they were getting that he was doing this elsewhere. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out he's probably not just doing this with girls in Palm Beach. So they not only had good evidence against, by the way, they had corroborating evidence. They had message pads from his home that showed so-and-so, the name of, just say, Diane, so she could come over. They had phone records showing that he had called these girls. So it wasn't even just the word of these girls. They had other evidence showing that he was involved with these girls.
So this case was a slam dunk. They would have gotten a conviction.
I think they would have absolutely gotten a conviction, especially when you had, at that time, 30 30 victims. We know now that.
And again, this is the first time that Jeffrey Epstein was let off the hook and then given favorable, like, wasn't he given like a work release as well, where he didn't even have to spend, like, you get to spend some sort of time out of the fucking prison as well. So basically he was given every favorable position known to man. And this is the original instance that they're talking about here.
Grew. And my guess is if they would have pursued it, they would have found even more victims. And by the way, if they would have put them away, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Well, and then he gets the deal and he's back out, and he's, like all sex offenders do, he's immediately reoffending new victims. And I think that is just one of the saddest parts of the story, that a powerful person, and that's something that seemed to have bipartisan support on this, that powerful people shouldn't be above the law. And Jeffrey Epstein was, because I read an article the other day that said basically it's so dangerous for the elites, because it's exposing, when I say elites, I don't mean that in a left-right term. I'm talking about, the controlling governing class, that it would expose the rot within the whole system, because that's how big the relationships were with Epstein and other people. And that's just so devastating. It's so devastating when you think about these cases against the Catholic Church, and you think about all of these victims, most of them poor, and were approached because they were needed money. And it just, when this whole thing went down and you broke the story, were there any threats to you or threats to keep it quiet or anything like that?
No, it just kind of went out there, and it just exploded before I think anybody. Epstein obviously realized he was in trouble, because he immediately sent 2 payments to 2 of his assistants that were helping him almost immediately the following week after my series. So he knew that this wasn't good, but I think he was in damage control mode by that time. I worked under the radar on this story. I did not contact any of the principals like Epstein or Maxwell until I had it pretty well in hand, the story. And then I reached out to all of them, told them what I had. And by that time, it was too late for them to really stop me, so to speak. And I think, given the fact that the U.S. attorney in New York immediately launched a new investigation into him, he had his hands full. So I don't think he was worried about a little old reporter from the Miami Herald. I think in time, some strange things started happening.
Let me see. I think, was this just put out by Zelensky here? Let me see what this is. My apologies. I was trying to look in the background. I think I just got something. Mel just sent me something saying Eric Adams announced that this morning he's dropping his third-party bid for re-election. Let's see what that is.
Особливо важливо, щоб санкції болісно ударили по російській торгівлі енергоресурсами, по всій інфраструктурі танкерного флоту Росії. Тим більше зараз є інформація від розвідки, що росіяни використовують саме танкери для запуску та управління дронами, які запускають проти європейських країн. Це ще одне свідчення, що Балтійське море та інші моря мають бути закриті для російських танкерів, щонайменше для тіньового флоту. Особливо важливо, щоб
The shadow fleet being the fleet being used by Russia to, again, circumvent the sanctions. That's their own little shadow fleet. Let me see. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about here. Let me see if I can bring this up a little more. How's that? Can you see that a little better? A little more? A little more? Would you like it a little more? How's that? New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced this morning that he is dropping his third-party bid for re-election against Democrat Zoran Mandani and independent Andrew Cuomo. In a nearly 9-minute video released on Sunday, Adams stated, "Despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign," which means I don't have any fucking money. That's what that means. He does not have any money left. He knows he cannot afford to continue his campaign. So Mayor Eric Adams has officially resigned his third-party bid for re-election against Democrat Zoran Mandani. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you. Bye-bye. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's see if there's anything else see if there's anything else we can kind of dive into for a second here. Is there anything else we're missing as far as news? Let's see. Let's see. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. So let's see if we can just jump back. I know we got about 6 more minutes. Let's see if there's any other information we can get from this one.
Happening. I did this story, by the way, with a photojournalist.
I'm going to see if I can skip a little bit ahead so we can get to it, because it seems like information that we know so far, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, and also he used that's also what he did with some of the older women as they got older. He used them as recruiters. So he was having some of his own victims recruit other victims. I mean, it was really a mastermind operation when you really think about it.
Okay, I have one more question. Do you have any reporting, or have you discovered anything through your investigation about why he had recording devices in all of the bedrooms and all the rooms of his houses?
Well, we think that he probably was using it as
blackmail, right? I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, I don't know. Is she looking for like an Assad answer, or like a CIA type of answer? I mean, I think it would be pretty obvious as to the reason why you'd want some of this being recorded, some of it being on tape. That way you can say, hey, I need a little favor from you. And if you don't do this little favor for me, guess what? I got this little recording of you in this underage girl that I will release if you don't do said favor. Right. So I don't know, unless she has a different, a different answer.
Insurance, with the people that he had there, and he was committing a lot of crimes, not just sex trafficking. I think, quite frankly, he was money laundering too. And we don't know even what else he was doing. There's some rumors he was even doing arms dealing. So I think he was doing it for insurance,
So what is the new, I mean, not to bash the segment, but what is the new information that we're hearing from this segment? Whistleblower drops bomb on Ghislaine Trump and DOJ cover-up. What's the bomb? Has anybody already seen this that can tell me what the bomb is? Because it does seem like, I mean, good information. It's always good to know more about the situation, but seems to me like stuff that we either know or, again, we're trying to speculate on.
State University. When you find out that people were complicit and helped cover it up, that is such a part of the cover up that is so disheartening and so devastating that people don't have the courage to stand up to something that's so obviously a black and white issue. And that's such a devastating part. Okay, final question. In your opinion, not in your reporting, in your opinion, do you think Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide?
No.
Wow.
No, he did not. He didn't have the wherewithal to do it himself. He just didn't. He had a butler that tied his shoes for him. He didn't do anything. He had so many people. He just also was too soon. He was only in that jail for a month. And he had a good chance, by the way, of beating that case based on the same argument that Maxwell is using right now to get out of her case.
Plus, one would go along to suggest that, if you're getting favorable treatment by people like Alex Acosta, why would you find the need to kill yourself, right? If you're already getting, work release, if you're already getting, this favorable treatment and that favorable treatment that somebody in your position would never, ever fucking get. Like, why would you kill yourself? You know what I mean? Like, that obviously doesn't add up with the information that we know already anyway, right? So again, I know as much information that could possibly come out on this, I absolutely commend it, but doesn't seem to me on that one that there was like, this giant bombshell to be released on that one. That's all. But I'm still here for it as well. But I'm gonna get you guys out of here. I'm gonna see if anybody was kind enough to have donated through Venmo, and then we'll check the old YouTubes to see if anybody was kind enough to. I know people were kind enough, but I'll thank people kind enough on there. Oh, it's saying I don't have enough storage to download Venmo. That's not good. Well, I'll have to thank anybody that was kind enough to send a Venmo my way when my phone feels like cooperating and the data feels like cooperating. Oh, there it goes. It's going. So why don't we get to the YouTube people, and then by the time I'm through this, we'll get onto the Venmos. I appreciate it. Slacks right up there on the first of the list. Let's go. It's the first of the month. Thank you, Slacks. I appreciate you, brother. Slava Ukraine to you. Heroyam Slava. Love to you, Mel, Dunkery Dog, Logan. Love to all the Bryantologists. Thank you in advance for all your kind greetings. Thank you so much, Slacks, for your continued support, your generosity in this channel. I mean, it just, you've been here since the beginning, and we thank you for it. We appreciate you, brother. We hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Crystal, thank you so much. Love you, BB. Callie and fam, right back at you. I really appreciate that. Let's see here. Looks like it's somebody. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I would. Let's see. Oh, thank you, JD. Thank you, Yaakov. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you, moms. Let's see here. Who else on Venmo was kind enough? It was, yeah, thank you, moms. Thank you, JD. Thank you, Yaakov. Thank you, Nancy. You guys are fantastic. Thank you, Allison. And thank you, Jimbo. Oh, nope, not Jimbo. My apologies, Jim. Thank you, Jim. We've learned our lesson. We've learned our lesson. Thank you, Cool Breeze, for being here for 15 months. It just keeps getting crazy and crazy. It really does. Thank you guys for sticking it out. Thank you guys for being so passionate and so involved that, you know, it hasn't deterred you from, you know, keeping up on the news, keeping up on what's going on. And I appreciate you for doing that here with me at Blunt Politics. It really does mean a lot. And Peter, thank you so much for your incredibly kind $50 fucking contribution here, man. Thank you, dude. I understand, Boston Brian. He says, I'm in Portland, not one uprising or riot. We do not need troops here. There has been 3 mass shootings in 24 hours elsewhere. Basically send the troops where they're needed, and it is certainly not where Donald Trump has sent them so far. If he's looking to actually stop the crime and actually stop murder, he should definitely take a look at some of these red states, in some of the cities in these red states, you know, the murder capitals of the world type of thing. You know, maybe think about sending in the National Guard there. But thank you so much, Peter. That's an incredibly kind contribution by you, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you, Wes, for 17 months. Let's fucking go. 5,000 is plenty. Freedom is just another word. I appreciate that. Right. That just, and thank you, Karen. Just saw that. Karen on Venmo. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I saw that. I wasn't going to let that slide by. I really appreciate that. $10. And thank you, Wes, again. 5,000 is plenty. Talking about the Charlie Kirk shirts there and the propaganda usage there of the Penn State whiteout. If you have not checked that out, rewind to the beginning of the show. You can check that out. Just how like Benny Johnson and other people are using college campuses now, the same college campuses that they despise and say are like, you know, liberal breeding grounds for radicalization and debauchery and shit. So now they're using those same college campuses to propagandize Charlie Kirk and the, I don't know, I guess the legacy or lack thereof of Charlie Kirk. So definitely take a look at that so you don't get sucked up into it thinking that, yes, the entire Penn State stadium was in Charlie Kirk t-shirts, because they weren't. They were not. So thanks, Wes. Thank you, Luis. Appreciate you for being here for 18 months. Let's fucking go, Brian. They are trying to make Charlie into Jesus. Yes, we knew it was coming, though. You knew it was coming. You knew they were going to try to milk that fucking cow for everything it was worth, right? Because that's what they do. They take things and use them to their benefit, and they milk it until there's fucking no more milk to be had, right? So we knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to fucking come. We've seen, you know, statues and faces be, you know, faces on money be proposed. So, you know, don't get upset. Don't get fucking, frustrated by it. It's what they do. It's what they do. You know it. I know it. We've been in it for a long time. Let's focus on what's important. And I appreciate you for being here, buddy. Thank you, Carol, for so much for the 10 gifted memberships. I really can't explain to you how much it means to me that we have so many members in this community at the low level of subscribers that we have. It's amazing to see. It really shows the passion and, you know, you guys, wanting to help out independent creators. And I thank you for it. I really do. People like Captain PJ, it's saying that, again, in no way is that a small contribution. I am under no illusions whatsoever. That is a small contribution. That is a very substantial contributions by any standards. And I appreciate you for it. I really do. And I don't want you to think that is a minuscule contribution that doesn't help, because it helps in a major way. And anybody that contributes, every single dollar goes to helping this channel in some short of way. So it's very much appreciated. It really is. Just like Yvonne's 20 gifted memberships, which is absolutely massive, absolutely incredible. Thank you, Yvonne, for all that you do. Thank you for the continuous emails and keeping me informed. I really do. Thank you for your involvement and your passion in these policies, in these situations. And I just can't thank you guys enough. I can't. I wish I could. I wish I had the words to do so. Obscenity Sam, thank you for gifting. Thank you for the gifted Kush Queen, DC. Thank you very much, Obscenity Sam, for thanking Yvonne. Very nice of you. And I thank you for the $2 in the kind contributions, my man. I really do appreciate that. Say hi, Patty, recovering, and you make her day. Hi, Patty. I hope you're doing well, Patty. We miss you. We thank you for watching. We hope you're doing well. Please let us know if there's anything we can do. I hope you're watching either your favorite football team or your favorite soap opera, whatever it may be. I hope you're as comfortable as humanly possible. And we miss you. We thank you, and we appreciate you, Patty. Thank you so much, and thank you, Rock, for bringing that to my attention, and your kind contributions, and your service, your volunteering in the chat, and keeping that place a safe place. I thank you so much, Rocks. Let's see here. Who's next? Rachel, what's up, Rach? Are you following the current election in Moldova? I saw reporting on it. I can't say that I'm following it, in any detailed process, but I know it's as is any of the elections in that region are extremely important, and we got to make sure that we're staying on top of the coverage. So, Rachel, I'll make sure to dive into it a little more than I have. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And you're all over the place. You know everything about everything. Crying out loud. Thank you, Luis. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the $12. Brain watching Brain. What? Is that Brian watching Brain? Or Brian watching Brian? Or Brain watching Brain? I'm not sure, but I do appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much for your kind contributions. Andrea is next. Thank you so much, Andrea. How are you? Love to all, working and lurking as usual. Thanks for all your hard work, Brian. Well, thank you for working and lurking. Sorry that you're working on a Sunday. But I very much appreciate you for double dipping and killing two birds with one stone, listening and working at the same time. We appreciate you. We thank you so much for your dedication to the cause, and thank you so much for your $20. That is the huge contribution, and it's very much appreciated. Josh, what's up, you handsome bastard? Did you see Junior's character on South Park? I did not. I have not, but I'll have to check that out, Josh. I appreciate you, brother. Is he in a cabin with a winter hat on? In a big bag of Coke? Oh, man. I wish we had more time to dive into that, because he does get it gets funny, but I wasn't going to subject you to it. And thank you so much again, Josh Jr. sending smoke signals to Kimberly. She's probably hiding in a tree outside anyway. The smoke signals probably don't have to go too far. But thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. And dude, I honestly thank you so much for the $100, for the 50 in the gifted memberships. I mean, literally going a long way in making sure that this channel can stay on the air. And I can't thank you enough for doing it. I can't thank you enough and show my appreciation enough for, again, stuff that you do outside of this channel as well. And I wish people knew just how much effect you had, and just, how much you have your finger on the pulse, and how much you want to help people over in regions that, again, are far away from the United States. But you're a good man. You have a good heart, a good soul, and I thank you for being a friend. I thank you for being on the right side of history, and I thank you for contributing to the show. I really do. So that goes for Nordez as well. Thank you for the 10 gifted, Nordez. I mean, every single show you are here contributed in. You are here making sure that other people are becoming involved in the channel as well. And again, it's gone a long, long way to help this channel grow. So thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I really do appreciate it. 5 alarm. Let's fucking go, brother. Nope. Thank you. Never. Don't thank me, guys. It's on you guys. It really is on you guys. I could sit here and be talking to myself for all I want, but it's only because you guys are in the chat every single show that makes this a show. So, as much appreciation as you guys continuously show me, it is sent back your way tenfold, because, again, you guys are the ones that make these shows happen, make these shows run. You guys are the ones that are going to enact policy changes. You guys are the ones that are going to be, shoulder to shoulder with me out in the streets when these protests finally kick off. So it's my appreciation to you guys that I should be showing. Thank you for supporting independent media. Thank you for supporting me in my ventures here, because of how important I believe these situations are, these policies are, this time is, and just how important it is for us to resist at all points, speak up at every turn, and not be silent, because silence is compliance, and I will not be compliant in this fucking regime's takeover of our federal government in just fucking slashing of our rights. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nordez. Thank you, 5 Alarm. Thank you, Machine Tool. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, JD. I appreciate you, brother, as always. Thank you, Nordez, again for $20. Come on, man. Come on. Appreciate you, man. For the profanity jar from Rosanna. I appreciate that. Thank you. Please send my love and regards and thank yous to Rosanna. I really appreciate that. Again, today was one for the swear jar. Again, I just something fucking lights a fire under my ass every single time I see people abusing their power, abusing their authority, given carte blanche, given permission by the president of the United States to be as brutal and violent as they so choose. Again, with people that are just people that are upset and distraught because family members were stripped from their homes. Like, you're supposed to be able to, you're supposed to be able to take down the rhetoric. You're supposed to be able to calm. You're supposed to be able to deflect. Like, you're supposed to be able to make sure that you're making sure that fucking situation doesn't escalate, right? You're supposed to de-escalate the situation instead of tossing women around in a hallway where they could crack their skull open and then jumping on top of them and beating old guys. Like, this isn't America. This isn't the America that I grew up in. Nor will I fucking sit and watch and let this stuff happen without speaking my mind, without showing and speaking up against the government and showing my displeasure. It's not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to. Oh, thank you so much, Jennifer. Oh my goodness. Your disgust for what's happening and the fire against it is why we love and support you, Brian. Happy Sunday to you, Mel, and Logan. Thank you so much, Jenny Faye. I appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your generosity. I really do appreciate that. That's incredibly kind of you, as well as, what is that? Nordez, did you just give another fucking 20? Oh my goodness. Thank you, Benny Loco, as well. Keep on keeping on. Resist. Thank you, Benny Loco. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the work that you do as well in this space. It goes a long, long way. Jenny Faye, thank you for contributing on here as well. Been busy in the kitchen with husband, enjoying, listening, sending mods and Lobster some love. Happy Sunday, all. Right back to you in the hubby. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. Hope you're enjoying some wonderful food together. And hope you guys get to tune out after this, or, watch a movie, go for a walk, do something that, stimulates your mind and it has absolutely nothing to do with the federal government or anything like that, or the news. So make sure you're keeping yourself sane, right? That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Thank you, Susie. I appreciate you just as much. I really do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. 5 Alarm. I forgot about the curse jar. This is for my F-bombs. Well, I appreciate that. Don't feel like you have to pay for yours. I really don't feel like it. You're more than welcome to let them fly. I mean, this is an R-rated show. This is a show that, again, is called Blunt Politics for a reason, right? Or a multitude of reasons, we could say. So I don't hold back. I appreciate you guys for keeping me safe and making sure that the swear jar stays full, because every now and again I have to unload, and it just seemingly is ice is around every time I have to unload nowadays. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ada. Have a wonderful week. Stay strong and healthy. You as well, Ada. Thank you so much for being here for 2 months. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your loyalty, and thank you for your fight for democracy. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys Tuesday on the next show. Make sure you're hitting that notification bell. That way you know when I go live. Subscribe to the channel. A lot of people watch unsubscribed. It's free to do so. It doesn't cost you a dime. Make sure you're liking and sharing the show out. That would be that also goes a long way in making sure that some more people get brought into the community, as we always try to do. So thank you guys. I appreciate you very much. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Make sure, again, doing something to keep your mental sanity there. Make sure you detach for at least some time every week and are taking care of yourselves. All right. But make sure you're staying loud, stay proud, stay aggressive, get out there, keep your head on a swivel though. Make sure you find your nearest protest, find your nearest rally, get out of your seat and get into that goddamn street, because if not now, then when? Fuck ICE. Free Palestine, fuck Donald Trump. You know the rest, and I'll see you Tuesday. All right, guys. Thank you so much for everything that you do and continue to do. Thank you so much for your support and loyalty, and make sure you're taking care of and supporting other independent creators out there as well. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you Tuesday.
Like we always do about this time.
I got you, Tiff. I'll get those out to you, I promise.
Like we always do about this time.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
No, I knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to do it. I always get so wrapped up in looking at your goddamn comments. All right, take two. Fuck them.
You're a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
Built the wall the way he built Trump Towers, we'll be using illegal immigrant labor to do it. There's no way we are going to allow a con artist to take over the conservative movement, and Donald Trump is a con artist. I can just tell you that a con artist is about to take over the Republican Party and the conservative movement, and we have to put a stop to it.
They're just getting acclimated. You know what that means, acclimated?
Oh, and also just to let everybody know, we were able to reschedule with Kat Abdul-Zayla. So stay tuned for her to be on the show. Very excited to be able to chat with her. She has been in the trenches lately. Stay tuned.
Oh, there's a fly. Oh, I wonder where the fly came from. You'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street gangs, occupying the town with MK-47s. I know that gun very well. I got to know it. Eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. We've endorsed JP, right? J.D. Mandel. And what uranium is, right? This thing called nuclear weapons and other things. Like lots of things are done with uranium, including some bad things. This week it was reported that an illegal and you just look at this, what's happening. No words. I had the best words. But there's no better word than stupid. Gifting production to Thailand and to Vietnam, Venezuela. Did you just see Maduro? Venezuela. It's unbelievable.
The population in Thailand is 63 million people.
It is twice the size of Wyoming. Its chief exports are textiles, footwear, and rice. Each year, approximately 13,000 people are killed in car accidents in Thailand.
Yesterday's a hard word for me.
Call them dumps, big massive dumps.
Obama.
They call them dumps, big massive dumps.
Obama.
They call them dumps, big massive dumps.
Oh, that's military bullshit.
White people are a mortal danger to you and your loved ones. Is there anything worse than white people?
My superpower is being honest. I will eat my neighbors. Cacophony, a crescendo, a finale, a coup de grace.
How do you lie to the FBI and now you're running for president? Seriously, how do you lie to the FBI and now you're running for president? I am the chosen one.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
I am the chosen one.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
Tell the director to call the White House. Do your fucking job! Get off my plane.
Vagina.
Hey, you got a little chubby going there.
He says rectum damn near killed him. In the hell was that all about? I'm just dandy. I got a bowl of chocolate pudding in my underpants.
All right, guys, take it easy. See you Tuesday.
The big, fat, sloppy United States.